In this video I'm going to show you how to populate data into list widgets, and let me just preview this and we'll see this working. So I'm going to get driving directions from Binton to Stratford-on-Avon using the Google Geocoding API. So let's press go, and here you can see what's happened. So we've used two different application craft methods. One is populate widget, that lets me get data out of large arrays with minimal code. And here we've used the set data approach, which gives me a bit more control. So what we'll do is let's just go and put in a debugging statement. Let's just put it in after here. So this will stop the debugger on this line. And then let's run this. So I'm going to run it. Now I'm going to bring up the debugger. Press go. And here we are. So let's take a look and see what's happened. The first thing that's interesting actually is up here we've got the object structure of our mobile list widget, and this is useful because you can clone it. In this case I've cloned it when I want to use the set data method. It also just shows you the internal structure. So a side element, that's the small font text on the right hand side of a list item. We're not using that in this case, nor are we using the count. That's the bubble field which shows the number, a number in a little circle. Divider between elements. An image can be displayed in each item. The label is the main bit of text, and a value is an associated value. So the first thing we should really look at is the data that's come back from the Google API call. And here you can see this is the data that we want is all the way down in here. And there it is. So we're only interested in the first root and leg, and then there are 6 steps. We also got the distance, 7.1 kilometers, and in the previous line we've written the distance into an application craft widget, which you can now see here. Total distance 7.1 kilometers. So what happens next is we are going to use populate widget. That's the first one, if you remember, that populates the left hand of those two lists. So the first thing here is the mapping object, and the second thing is the populate widget command. Those two things go together. So in the right hand side you'll see that we've pointed it to data, roots, legs, steps. That is the start point of the array that contains the data we want to populate. So the next thing is the map object, and here we're basically telling application craft that it should look for the field HTML instructions, which can be found in each of these here. So there's HTML instructions, and it's going to map that to the field in application craft called label. So if we now just run over that, you can now see on the left hand side that's just done the population. So populate widget is a great way of getting lots of data with minimal code. All you need is to define a mapping object and point it to an array. If you look at the repeater container video in the same section of the Learning Center, you'll see some more complex examples. The next section is how we use the get a bit more control, and we're basically processing our array, making modifications, and then writing the entire array back to the mobile list widget using the set data command. So what I'm doing here is for each of the, in this case, steps, we are here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clone the object that we took a snapshot of up here. I'm going to clone it, set the divider property to be true, and write into that divider property, into the this object, the actual distance of this step here, 0.2 kilometers. And then I'm going to push that into our final object array. Then I'm going to take the actual driving instructions from the same step and push that onto the next one, but divider, it won't be true, it's false, so I won't get that divider. So let's just go and step my way through there, and then eventually I'm going to get to the set data command. That takes the final array that I've just created and dumps it back into the mobile widget. Let's just run it through, close this down now, and there you can see those pairs that I used to create it.